New roller coasters are built every year, which means that most parks either have to find a new spot of land to put it in, or they have to remove an attraction. And today I'll be talking about the 10 coasters that I could see being removed in the next 5 years. So if we start off with some honourable mentions, Desperado at Buffalo Bills is an Arrow Hyper Coaster which opened at the hotel in 1994, and it has been sitting there since it last operated in 2020, so I don't think it will get removed anytime soon. Vertigo at Kings Island opened in 1999, and it probably won't get removed in the next 5 years as they can use the spare parts from Stinger at Dorney Park, which recently closed. And for the last honourable mention is Wicked Twister at Cedar Point, because I don't think this will get removed. I actually think this will get relocated to a park like Valley Fair or Michigan's Adventure. Number 10, Grizzly at California's Great America. This is an old and outdated roller coaster which opened in 1986, and this ride won't fit into California's Great America for much longer because this is actually becoming one of the best Cedar Fair parks, and they are also rumoured to get a B&M Hypercoaster in the near future, so I see it either getting removed or converted into an RMC, but I definitely don't think it will have a life at California's Great America for much longer. Number 9, Ninja at Six Flags St. Louis. This rough and old coaster was built by Vekoma and opened in the park in 1989, and Six Flags St. Louis hasn't been getting much attention over the last 10 years, so I definitely think they will get that rumoured RMC single rail coaster to replace this ride and also to boost up the attendance. If this park did decide to get an RMC single rail coaster like Railblazer at California's Great America, it could fit easily into this plot of land and also have a lot of room for future development of this park. Number 8, Batwing at Six Flags America. This is a Vekoma Flying Dutchman coaster which is one of 2 left in North America, and this coaster does have loads of unique elements whilst in the flying position, like that vertical loop which looks very, very intense. This is actually located right at the back of the park behind one of the world's best roller coasters, Superman Ride of Steel, so it doesn't actually help that Superman's right in front of it because nobody really goes back there because everyone's rushing to Superman, but I'm sure this ride will stay around for a little bit longer because Carowinds are likely to take down Nighthawk in the near future, so if it can, it will definitely give it spare parts to this ride. Number 7, Wildcat at Hershey Park. This was actually GCI's first ever wooden roller coaster, and it looks like it's got incredibly rough over the last 25 years, but GCI won't want Hershey Park to RMC as obviously it was their first ever coaster, so actually I do think this will get the Titan track, and this will be absolutely amazing. So this is the new concept they brought out, where basically it's sort of like RMC, they add steel track to the wooden supports, and yet this means it can have inversions and it'll be a much more smoother and comfortable ride, and as Hershey Park has expanded so much over the last 10 years, I definitely think that the Titan track would be a great fit if they decide to go with this option. Number 6, Roar at Six Flags America. This is another old wooden coaster, and it opened at the park in 1998, and Roar is actually a clone from Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, and this one has actually already got the RMC treatment and is now called the Joker, and this is actually an inversion based RMC, which is actually very interesting because they don't really make inversion based RMCs anymore. But yeah, there is actually 2 options for this coaster. It can either get the RMC treatment, or, in my opinion, this will be better, it can get the new GCI Titan track. And I can imagine this would be absolutely awesome because one will have the RMC and one will be a GCI Titan track. But any of these will be a great fit for this park down the East Coast, and it will definitely boost up so much attendance. Number 5, Goliath at Six Flags New England. This is a giant inverted boomerang which was made by Vekoma in 2001 and got relocated from Six Flags Magic Mountain as Deja Vu in 2012. And this coaster is actually very rarely open, and yet this has actually been having a lot of issues over the last 9 years. They have also added new trains, and yet people say it's just got so awful and uncomfortable, nobody really ever rides it. So yeah, I can definitely see this going within the next 5 years. Number 4, American Eagle at Six Flags Great America. This is actually a dueling wooden coaster, and this is actually very rare in North America now, and this opened in 1981. But yeah, I don't think it'll be there for much longer because this can actually be a great candidate for the RMC treatment, as they could make it very, very similar to Twisted Colossus at Six Flags Magic Mountain with the high five element and much more awesome elements. But the only thing is that they do already have an RMC, and this is called Goliath. So if they did actually want to get this, they could actually make it very, very different, because obviously a wooden coaster is very different from a steel coaster, so they could actually make this very different if they wanted to, and this would definitely pull in a lot more crowds to this park. Number 3, Nighthawk at Carowinds. This is the other Vekoma Flying Dutchman coaster in North America, and it opened in 2004, but this ride is not actually meant to be that bad, but Carowinds' lineup is getting better and better each year, with Fury 325 in 2015 and Copperhead Strike in 2019, so I definitely think it would be a good decision for them to remove it and maybe add a new coaster in the future. I think we will see RMC Hurler or a modern wooden coaster before they decide to build a new coaster in this plot of land, but it could definitely be a good plot in the future. Number 2, Viper at Six Flags Magic Mountain. A lot of people don't actually like this arrow looping coaster, but personally I actually think this is a very, very good coaster in their lineup, and if they ever do decide to remove it, I'll be very, very upset. But there would actually be a massive spot of land for a new coaster here in the future, so we could actually be seeing a B&M dive coaster like Emperor at SeaWorld San Diego, or we could be seeing a hyper coaster, and I don't think they would actually get this, but if they do, California doesn't really have much airtime at the moment, and if they do get this, this would be a great fit for the park, but obviously they do already have a hyper coaster, so that is why it's a bit more unlikely. But yeah, I could definitely see this happening, and if this does, I'd be so happy. Number 1, Possessed at Dorney Park. This is an intimate impulse coaster which opened at the park in 2008, and the reason why I think this coaster could get removed very, very soon is because they are actually rumoured to get a Gravity Group shuttle coaster in 2022, and if they do build this in the Stinger location, they would actually have to remove Possessed so it fits in. But if they do build this Gravity Group coaster, this would be amazing, as Dorney Park would have a solid top 3 with Steel Force and also Hydra, and this is also meant to have one inversion on it, which is actually meant to be amazing. And if they do get this, this would be so cool to go through that backwards as well. So this is actually meant to be very, very similar to Switchback. And yeah, so if they do get this, I'll be very, very happy. And obviously they will have a solid top 3. So yeah, this is why I think this coaster is the most likely, and this is the one I think that will get removed first. So they are the 10 coasters that I could see being taken down in the next 5 years. And yes, this was actually in no particular order, so none of these were actually in a certain order or anything like that. The only one that I could be seeing taken down first is Possessed at Dorney Park, but apart from that, this wasn't actually in any particular order, even though I did do it in a format of a top 10. But also, these coasters are not definitely going to get removed in the next 5 years, and they may not actually get removed for quite a while now, and also they may even be relocated, so we don't actually know any of this yet, but these are just my predictions. This is what I think will happen. But yeah, that wraps up this video here on AntiPC, and if you do actually have any suggestions for next videos, make sure to leave comments down below. But yeah, that wraps up this video here on AntiPC, and goodbye.